Ahoy, mateys. Welcome to the ETF2L Season 50 matchup. It's Premiership Week 2. We got Witness Gaming against the Bloodsail Buccaneers. We're going to sail the high seas here. We're going to see some real action, maybe some blood coiling stuff. Is someone going to walk the plank today? We have Samus to show us all the action, and Ben, you're here as well to tell me what's what. How are you doing?
Doing good, yeah. I liked the sort of pirate, sort of nautical references there you brought in. But yeah, they are hoping to sail towards victory today. And what is, I guess, somewhat of a grudge match, we could say, between like Mac and friends, some of whom obviously beat Witness back in that best of one back in Poland, versus the Witness Gaming with their new look roster. I believe this is their new main roster. I believe Sil and Pappy are going to be the returning, like, reunited Soldier Brotherhood duo there. But we had obviously Hugo in last week instead of Pappy, so I'm not entirely certain on that one. But if this is the roster going forward, like, can you really blame them? Because Sil, like, in his debut, was one of the he's probably the best roamer in the world. Like, just a couple of years ago.
I think he looked like the best roamer in Europe by a pretty wide margin, and by that token, maybe the world. So if he's back and he's just in full strength, I don't know if he's just been in the hyperbaric time chamber or if he's like he has a bit of rust he needs to work off. I'm not sure, but if he's just back to normal, I haven't really watched a whole lot. I saw, I think, some warm-ups last week, and he looked really strong there. But obviously that's a warm-up, so you can't draw too many conclusions out of that. But yeah, if he's back in full strength, this is going to be one hell of a hill to climb here for the Bloodsail Buccaneers. And, you know, that's a wave out at sea.
Yeah, when you see the maps on screen, for once, we managed to persuade the players to tell them what their pick bans were. So you see Granary Sultry banned out early, and then a return to Sunshine, which, here's a funny statistic. Samus told me this before. I didn't believe it at first, but this is the 6th game of Prem this season. Every single game has had Sunshine. All 6. Every single one of them. They've all played Sunshine. Wild. No variety needed at all, apparently.
I don't know. Is it just the new Snakewater? I'm not not sure. I can't figure out like why it's that popular, but I mean, I'm not mad about it. But it is interesting. I assume it's gonna rotate out 1 week, right, or 2.
Yeah, there's it's the same sort of thing where there's like 5 in each week that get like rotated in after the pick ban. So yeah, they can't just play only Sunshine the entire season. But it seems the way things are going, the teams are trying their best to do that.
Yeah, should be interesting. And then obviously after that we go to Gullywash. That's going to be the Bloodsail Buccaneers pick. And we shall see. They're pretty different maps, so I like that aspect. I hate when you have two very similar maps where they just kind of play the same. I like when there's some real variety going on. I actually feel like this map pool we've got this season is pretty good for that. There's not that many samey maps, right? Like obviously, if you just have Sunshine and Process every week, it gets pretty boring because those are they play kind of similar to each other. But
this is a really good. I'm really impressed with how, like, roundabout of a way you've said that you're really happy that Pro Lance is back.
Yeah, I was
like, I'm really impressed with how you sort of, like, it's good we've got different kinds of maps and stuff. You never explicitly said that you are happy that Pro Lance is back, but I can feel that's the angle you're going for here.
There's like there's like at least one more good Spire in the game now, you know? That just feels like a true statement. And the game is only better for it. That is just an objective truth, and I'm happy we're all ready to accept that. So should be fun. I'm sure we're gonna see it at some point here. We obviously have just had a real sunshine moment so far in this season, and it is what we're gonna start out with here. And should be some pretty fun game here. Like Celentis and Poppy, isn't it the notorious boyfriend bomb map they have where they just do a perfectly coordinated bomb where they're just holding each other's hand the entire time and they just land on you in choke and everything explodes. I feel like that's a thing, and also I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Sils or maybe even Left just come flying into choke, try and pick off Lucas immediately. Some pretty fun stuff on this mid, and even if they're just rotating around, you have such good vision that it actually tends to be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, so you mentioned about like targeting Lucas in these mids because that's like I know it's a completely different roster, but that's something that the Czech team last season had like used against them pretty much every mid of every map, at least that I watched. Where obviously like Lucas, it sort of it's not too disparaging to say Lucas was by far the best player on that team. So every single mid you would see players just flying in at Lucas. And to be fair, he lived quite a lot of those times. But against a team like Witness, I'm not sure teams can get away with that kind of commitment. But we saw last season it does take a heck of a lot of commitment to catch Lucas out on these mids.
Yeah, but I mean, I figure at least one mid you can do a fast rollout and probably have decent odds of just catching him out, right? Like there's usually a 50-50 chance that either they go through flowers or they go through choke, right? And you can just do a really fast rollout into flowers, and there's a decent chance that he's going to be just around the corner, so you can just kind of blindly sink him, right? That's always a possibility that you always have to keep an eye on. There's a very fast rollout through flowers that the roamer can do, and you can just never forget about that as a demo man. But speaking from experience, you do forget about it if it just hasn't happened for a while.
Yeah, there's a few maps like that, isn't there? Like Process could be the same. Metalworks in recent times has also been like kind of had that
Yeah,
as
true.
a recent thing where people speed shot through main and land on the demo. Yeah, being a demo on mid, like it's all well and good getting there fast before all the team, before the enemy demo, but if you're there before your friends are there to back you up when a soldier lands in your face, it's the mid can
Yeah.
kind of be over before it starts.
Yeah, it does require you to have a pretty good jumper on the enemy team, right? Like because you can get speed shot in Gullywash as well, right? But it's pretty
Yeah.
rare to see just because you have to have a pretty fast rollout and hit a perfect speed shot and just end up perfectly in choke with a lot of speed. And not all soldiers can do that consistently. And you do look very stupid when you're just kind of sitting on the floor on Gullywash mid with 150 HP and you haven't done anything. So it can be a little risky. So if you go too fast, it can be bad. But we're about to go live here, so I'm gonna put my eggs in the witness basket. I think they're bound for a win here. I don't know if you agree, but we're about to go live here into the first mid.
I think it would be very hard to disagree at this point. I'd love to play devil's advocate, but of course, Witness, champions of Europe, champions of the world, and very much favourites for this one here up against Bloodsail Buccaneers as they roll out to this first mid-fight. We see soldiers actually aggressive here from the Bloodsail Buccaneers, landing straight onto Lucas. One rocket lands into Lucas's face, but it looks like Silver's going to pay with his life. Maybe not actually, as he runs away on 1 HP, but in the meantime, Eon has gone down at the price of 3 Witness players who are now trying to retreat out in behind. They're getting pincered here in the valley.
And they've all been taken down. It's just Poppy alive, and yeah, there we go. A nice little air shot to leave it off, and a lot of deaths coming in at the very end of that middle there. A very quick kill onto Eon on that middle. He's gonna actually build quite a bit faster here going into mid, so they actually have an uber advantage because he died so quickly, but then ended up with a 5-minute situation. That actually sort of comes in Silentis. What is this?
Yeah, they're really committing in for this. They're going to lose 2 players for it. I guess it's not the end of the world because they're going to be dead on last regardless, but this now means there's not really much of a chance to put up resistance here on second. They're just accepting now that Witness are going to have to back up all the way to last and perhaps have to get ready to back out. They're poking in a bit. Lucas is trying to get a bit of damage up onto the point, but they're being locked out completely.
Yeah, he's just trying to bait them forward into that sticky trap. That is the one way you can really come back and slow down this push really well if you just get a good sticky trap here, but haven't been able to get it so far. They're in already. They haven't even used the Uber yet, but they need to use it pretty soon. There we go. Silentis has gone down. Everyone's pushed
they're
to spawn.
The pocket scout. Oh, Yunu gets dropped out of the Uber, but it might be okay anyway regardless because Sailor's in the point getting a whole lot of cap time. Uber charge has to be used out now by Auto, and in a 3v2 it looks like Witness might just be hanging on, but I really think if Unit isn't dropped out of that Uber, I think they could really collapse back in a lot better there, but now look at these players in second.
Oh my
Mac
God,
wants to be in. They're in.
Yeah, Mac is just doing all the damage right now. I don't know how much damage is possible to do, but he did at least 80% of it. And then he walked into a sticky trap. Alright. I think both teams kind of have to slow down a bit. There's a scout in.
They're not slowing down.
Oh, and Auto died. Yeah, this is just complete chaos. Lucas is the only guy left on last. Alright, last gonna get pushed out. That was just perfect play there from Mac. Baited them forward, but I don't know what happened, to be honest with you.
It was a tactical feed in the shutter. It was all tactical. The first soldier died to make space for the second player to walk onto shutter and also die to sticks, so that they could get players into the lobby and cap. I don't know, but regardless, Bloodsail Buccaneers getting around on the board. Great cleanup there by Sail at the end of that first round as they take the 1-0 lead against both of our predictions here. In what's that, like 3 minutes to get a round up against Witness? That's dreamland if you're over on the red side.
Doesn't get much better than this. Both demos just kind of squaring up here. We just get jumped very aggressively. One soldier's not enough. Actually, Otto's going to get jumped as well. It's been a bit scatterbrained, and there's just going to be 3 players remaining alive. It's basically the same as before, except Otto is alive. And
Pappy! Huge bomb in behind, and this is going to be a full wipe with some really, really late deaths there in the retreating players. They were a little bit too slow to get out of Valley, and Pappy just lands in behind, pays with his life, but does cut off any hope of getting a demo man or a medic out for that last point hold. And now full Uber advantage. Pappy's going to be a bit of a late spawner because of the sack onto the second. But is it really going to matter? The gun's still only getting built, there's still traps getting put on point, and Witness Gaming looking odds-on favourite for a push here.
Looks like they're just going to go in through top here, take Lucas and Thomas in. And they secure one side. They're about to go over to the other side, I believe. Actually, they haven't gotten any kills. They've just taken down the gun. That's it. Now they come in very aggressively. But they're actually bleeding players, but they're putting pressure onto the point. This is going to be enough. They just need to touch it. It's so close. Lucas just putting stingies on it. It's going to be just about enough, but it was actually a lot closer than it looked there.
That was a bit of an unconventional way to push last, at least what we see normally. Like you say, everyone expects them to cross over, but at that point they just realised, you know what, the Uber's faded, we can just heal up, and as soon as the players start coming out of the defending side's right spawn shutter, the soldiers bombed straight across and landed and did well, probably about 1,000 damage between themselves on that bomb, and that cleaned up everyone, made the life of the scouts so much easier for that post fight. And we are less than 5 minutes into this game, and it's already 1-1. Rounds are coming thick and fast in this one.
Yep, it's all gas, no brakes. As we already have soldiers trying to jump in here. See Sills and on the left have already gone down here. There's a sword behind lines. They're trying to retreat out. Eon is so caught completely alone. Sail is still behind line. He could be a hero here, but I don't think. Yeah, they absolutely know he's there. There's no way, right? Yeah. Thomas and Ixie, they're gonna hit those shots. And once again, it's looking very strong here for Witness Gaming. As long as they get these mid-fights, they're looking good.
It's aggression from these soldiers, Sil and Pappy finding their form again. It's been a few years since they'd last played together, but it seems like they've never left, because these soldier bombs on mid have been incredible so far. Finding Eon on 3 out of 3 occasions. Eon opting for the crit screen for this post-Uber, but that's whether he can even get it there, because the Uber's already in for Witness on this top right. 6 getting cleared on point. A lot of cap time coming through from Thomas. Now we've got Heavy coming up on spawn, lots of damage though taken by these Bloodsail Buccaneers players. We see Sil trying to get in behind, might be catching the Eon kill before this crits can even come up, and there's only 2 players left alive. I think Witness are getting a second round on the board.
Yeah, just a really good bomb in there from Silentus on that side. Takes down the medic, heals are gone, just slowly edging it out. The Heavy, he was still there, but not quite close enough to the point, and there'll be another round here for Witness Gaming in, I think, about 2 minutes. It's very fast. Once they win these mid-fights, it looks like they're just so good at just carrying the momentum all the way into last. They'll be 2-1 already, despite starting out with a 1-0 deficit here. So, 4th mid-fight, and we're 7 minutes into the game.
Absolutely ridiculous stuff here over in Sunshine. It's been lightning fast action left and right, and it's going to be lightning fast bombs here from Bloodsail Buccaneers side as they try and land in. Still's going to do good damage here on some of these combo players, but also currently all the way back and out, and now it's all like these Witness soldiers. Can they get in? Can they get damage over onto Eon? But that seems to have not worked out either, as Luke's now getting caught with the 2 scouts and Auto left alive for Witness. Looks like Thomas is going to try and dodge and weave and duck and dive under the point, going to meet Bloodsail underneath the dungeon, and that's now meaning that Ixie and Auto are going to have to run all the way back out, going to have to build up their Uber. This is, I guess, the first time we've had Ubers actually being held after a mid-fight. Normally the medics aren't as long for this world, but this time around there is hope for a hold.
Yeah, Otto is just alone with this guy. Okay, now we have the soldiers coming out to back him up. He was about to get forced there for basically no reason, but The presence is so strong now. Sail going down. Juno might. Okay, he is gonna get out here alive. So it is gonna be a hold. It's gonna be a slowdown off the point here. So it's gonna be interesting. They just don't want to relax it. Celenta's in. Poppy is taking a fight on the flank with Silver's actually gonna lose. So it is still a trade on the other flank. So they're just gonna keep on trading in there. Oh
big
my
air shot.
god.
Really nice collapse there in from Silvers and onto Lucas, but both soldiers down means that the Uber charge trade can come out. Matt gonna have to get flashed there to save him before he gets blasted away from the Uber. But actually, Witness, they want to walk forward. They still want to chase down this kill onto Mac, and they want to try and cause as much chaos as possible for this post Uber. And Bloodsail Buccaneers try to steady the ship here on mid. And it seems like they've managed to at least get their medic out, but what else are they getting? Because Ixie in behind already trying to collapse in bombs landing into the medic as well. Eon surely going to fall. And they just messed around a little bit too long there, I think, on the way out from Cafe, because Bloodsail Buccaneers are now without a medic and without a whole lot of their players. Midpoint cap going to come up. Nice pickaxe kill in from Sylvs too. And never mind, there's actually a couple of forward spawns coming in, so maybe there's a world where they can hang on as players behind getting picked up as well. Sail finding a frag onto Ixie.
Yeah,
wow,
some pretty crucial picks there. It's going to slow down Witness Gaming quite a bit. They obviously still have the Uber advantage here, but you can actually see, I'm surprised they keep on pushing in here because like Witness Gaming, they're going to have respawners pretty soon and they're probably going to take this fight. But look at that, they're just doing their best to holding them out here. The Bloodsail Buccaneers, they don't give no space for nobody as they're just in so aggressive here. Soldier's going to jump in, try to get behind lines. Left is just hiding behind lines, but will eventually get picked off, and there we go. They're going to have to retreat. Kind of what you could see coming from a mile away was going to happen. And now there's a pick, and Witness Gaming, they have this Uber they can go in on.
Yeah, it has to be fairly fast though. Eon's going to be at 80%, but it seems, at least to me, with the fact that Sail's already building a gun on last, that this is, they know what's coming here on Bloodsail Buccaneers. They have to go and get the defences set up on this final point. Going to get Pyro 2 on Unu to try and deflect some of this spam away from this all-important sentry gun here on Sunshine Last. As actually, it seems like the pressure is coming in from the other side as Ixie and Sil have found a kill onto Bloke.
Yeah, just completely catches him out. I don't think he was expecting to get pushed here. Gun has gone down as well, so now you're just free to jump in, whatever you can do. Sail can't get back into spawn. Oh no, Eon has popped and he can't even find back.
Oh no!
Oh, it's tragic. Oh, I've never seen anything more sad. He's getting juggled so hard. Nobody even died in this game.
Oh, dropping 5 players there. Eon had Uber, right? Like, in that situation.
Yeah.
He dropped all 5 players from the Uber. That's an unfortunate one. And yeah, I feel this game, this map at least, is spiraling out of control. Bloodsail Buccaneers, like you say, 1 round up within 3 minutes, and just a mere quick, 8 minutes later, they found themselves 3-1 down, and it's not looking like it's taking any signs of turning around for them. But these mids, at least, have been okay. They last time managed to win it out with some good late collapsing kills over onto the explosive classes, and again, they're going to send their soldiers really aggressive over the top of point. Going to be Bloke landing in behind, Silver's landing in front. They get the kill onto Lucas, and Sylvs, I don't know how Sylvs has lived, but Sylvs has managed to get out alive for a potential refight.
Yeah, but Silentis is so aggressive here, Choke. Everyone has been forced out here for Bloodsail Buccaneers. I think it's just going to be a matter of can they escape the medics alive.
Sail.
Oh my god.
Oh!
Poppy eventually comes in there, finds the kill, marks down, and there's going to be no left bomb in here in order to try and be a hero. Pretty close fight there at the end, but yeah, these mid-fights have been so decisive almost every time. It's so rare for the medic to be able to get out. Both teams have been very, very good at chasing down kills, and now it's going to be another full-on Uber situation. Juno's on Sniper trying to see if he can get some sort of really crucial pick here as they go in. I think Thomas spotted him. He just went in for like a very quick peek as the auto is going to come in from the right side, and there we go, Uber has come in.
Here we go, in from this left-hand side, but this time around, things looking a bit better for the Bloodsail Buccaneers. They found a kill onto Slentas and onto Ixie as well, so they can actually look to stabilise the ship and get themselves maybe up and into lobby, but maybe not so fast because Pappy's found a kill onto Mac, and no demo might make this a little bit more sketchy on the push-out, especially when Eon doesn't have an Uber charge yet, so Witness, they can play fairly close, and they can maybe look to get themselves here a bit of a hold-up on second. It might have to be passive, because it's still around 40 ad, but do you really think that the Bloodsail Buccaneers want to push this?
I don't think so. Like, just the fact that Mac isn't here. Like, if Mac was fully buff and they had two scouts ready to push, I'm just looking at at an engineer and a pyro, and I'm thinking,
Oh
no,
yeah,
you're not
no
pushing
chance
that
now.
ever, right? So it would also just be a very sketchy push out with 30 ad and missing a demo man, so you can't like have him create some space. You want to get out there and create some space before the Uber actually comes into place, right? And they couldn't do that, so I don't think there was ever a real Uber push out in the cards here for them. So they're just going to have to hold last and try to reset it, I think. Or potentially hold this as a Poppy going to try and jump in, but just immediately. I think that was a sticky trap that got him down so weak. Maybe that's going to create a bit of an opportunity here for them to go forward. And actually, Silhouette is going to come in here and try and catch out Sills. We'll actually manage to trade him out. But yeah, not something you gain a whole lot from. You can do some shenanigans. You can have like Poppy can come back.
It's back in again.
All right. Like, I'm just looking for off classes. I'm looking for weird like loadout change. You can obviously go for pain trade. You can go for sniper. You can go for the booties. What do they call man treads? Right. There's a couple of different options you have. You have 2.5 minutes remaining here. You could build that banner in that time. No one has gone for it though. They're just gonna keep on going it completely bog standard here. I want to say Sunshine is one of those maps where you can't really like push in on a side very far before you run into a lot of.
But you can if you're Silentis though. You can just bomb in straight past the pyro. Nice little skip jump there from the top right and landing that all-important rocket into Eon. Eon believed the second one and did force out the Uber, and to be quite honest, I respect it. I think it was hitting. And that means now that Eon now big disadvantage, and Silentis is going to be up in what, like another 5 seconds or so. Will already be rolled out, and this is going to be another big advantage push.
And here they come, take down the sentry guard immediately. Just gonna push them back on the right side, and you can see the scout tried to get to the point there, but not quite yet. Here they go. Now they're actually taking the fight. Lots of damage from Lucas in the spawn door. Does so much work. Nobody can get out of spawn, and that's gonna be another round to win this game. And we have still 15 minutes to go in the map if we can even get there. But yeah, these last pushes have been very, very clean with Cooper ads.
Yeah, I genuinely do really like what Witness are doing with these pushes, because we see a lot of teams like overcommitting with these Ubers. They've got the demo jumps once that instantly tries to dive around straight away to the other spawn door and ends up getting caught out sometimes, or it means that the Uber charge fades too early. But here we're seeing they're managing to commit just in the post Uber. They're using Uber to just get in, and then they can commit players in that spawn door once the Uber's already faded, and it's worked out wonders for them.
Okay, left is just all the way behind. He's just gone. He's not even in the fight. Eon has been taken down by Silentis immediately. Auto is in pretty deep here. There's a soldier behind, but yeah, just Thomas completely caught out left here as well. Second soldier fighting a scout.
Yeah, it's not looking great.
Max is, come on, Max. Yeah, against Thomas.
Maybe another one. The sword's out. The sword's out. It's sword fighting time, but the swashbuckling will have to end eventually. As Mac falls, and I think we might be in for a quick end to this one. We've already got Bloat coming up on Spy. We've got a sniper. We've got a gun coming up. It's the only thing you can try, right? 4-1 down against the best team in the world. They've got to try something. They've got to try and get this Uber charge off of auto. We see the T-Cloak come in, and do we think anyone falls for this?
Well, he's being
they're
healed.
buffing him.
They're not shooting him. All right.
Both soldiers just look.
Oh, yeah. He took some real acting classes there.
Oh dear.
It's
the way the soldiers just like look at each other and then look at the spy, and it's like, oh, this isn't quite right, is it? Oh,
All right, Uber has come in. They're trying to end some point here. Thomas just standing on it. They're not contesting it. He's going to be the one to come in. That's going to be that clean 5-1. Yeah, that was fast. Yeah, we have 13 minutes remaining. That's 17 minutes, 6 rounds. Quick stuff.
I will say that spy play then, that was the highlight of the game for me. That was you don't get comedy moments like that in like TF2 that often, but when it does, it's beautiful.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've seen, like, obviously this is Witness's pick. It's a map they're confident on for a reason, and yeah, it was a little bit of a sketchy start, but like I don't know, how sketchy is it if you get like mid to last on the first mid, but then after that you just sort out your mid fights and mid to last the enemy team like what 4 times afterwards? There was like one which had a bit of back and forth, but the other 4 rounds were super quick, and we had what 6 rounds in 18 minutes, I think, which is
Yeah,
it's very
it
much
was a
speedrun
very
territory.
odd round there for the Bloodsail Buccaneers. It was so messy. You don't usually see Witness Gaming be that uncoordinated and just messing up. It really felt like they just slipped on a banana peel and it was just a comedy moment and everyone died, even though they were being fed players. I can't quite understand it, but yeah, very very clean pushes overall. Uh, I'm just looking at the logs to see if I can glean anything super important. Not really. Auto died 3 times to Eon's 9. That's kind of what you would expect. No,
Sylvs did a lot of damage considering that they were losing, but like,
yeah, true. Yeah, he actually had a
yeah.
beast
To be
game.
fair, I think at least on these mid fights, I think Sylvs was getting great value. Like going, we saw the one mid fight at the start where they won and actually got a round based off it. A lot of that was due to Sylvs because Sylvs bombed in Chuck, got a kill or at least a lot of damage, but then like managed to get out behind into the back of enemy cafe to get the pack, and then could recollapse Valley in post and just completely cut everyone off. And that was essentially the round-winning play because it gave them the full ad. But I think in general, I think the mids, like at least from the soldiers, didn't look too bad over from Bloodsail Buccaneers. It was just the rest of the combo was being stripped apart because yeah, Pappy and Silver were doing it a little bit better on the other side.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely like both teams were just jumping in their soldiers, and you know, very often it would be Sylves in first, and they would do a ton of damage. And I kind of like how Celentis and Poppy they didn't go like, oh, we're being pressured, we should help out our team. They was like, not like, no, 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 we're just gonna pressure them back, right? We're gonna be aggressive ourselves. So I kind of like that approach to it, and so that you don't just end up being pushed all the way back into your own side. And very often we saw like sure they were being pushed out very far back. Witness Gaming was, but then they were just not being locked out of mid, right? Like they could just still walk back in after they had dealt with the soldiers or the aggression that were being shown. So some good stuff. And oh my god, they're readying up on
We're
time.
already?
What's
This is
happening?
outrageous. What we're in apparently. Hello everyone, we're back. It's map 2. It's Gullywash. That caught me by surprise as well, to be honest, Peter. I have never seen from players actually spend like what was that, like 2 minutes between maps? That was crazy.
Yeah, that's not enough time to smoke a cigarette. I don't understand. All right, we've got a pretty fast jump here on Lucas, but left unable to really get onto him here. As he jumps up into the drop down, he's putting on some pressure, but he's been taken down. Sylv's gonna come and see if he can salvage it. They do eventually get Lucas, but Celentis comes in. Just a little air shot onto Eon, takes him down. Just gonna be 2 players remaining. Can Mac actually limp his way out? The answer is yes, actually he can, but Julu
Oh,
not be able to.
yeah, you can. I thought Pappy was going to commit, but I thought better of it on 11 HP. There is actually still a scout coming in at Thomas, and Thomas is going to be stricken down by Mac, but how much does this actually mean? I guess Thomas is going to be up in time for the Uber push. Eon coming up on crits, they're getting a Pyro and a gun up, and I don't know about you, BT, but I feel like we've just kind of carried on where we've left off at the start of this.
Yeah, Eon's on
Already,
crits. I just want to point that out. That could be a little wrinkle here.
it's good on Gullywash. It can be good.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously they're going to get the full Uber ad here, so just it's almost the fact that it's going to come out faster. They're being a little slow here with this game, but here we go. They're going to Uber in. You have a full crits now. They might just crits to heavy.
Laser beam watch. The laser beams are out, and oh my, they are actually killing almost everything here. There's players stuck in spawn, there's players stuck under point. There's only Thomas and Sil trying to get themselves back into this. Sil going to go down to the point, and yet the laser beams come good. As a Sail, was that
Thomas?
3 kills? Oh, you can't be coming in like that. Okay, I thought it was going to go and try and walk in and kill everything, but no, he decides to try and go for a back tap play. But Bloke is all too cognizant of that one, and really nice hold, I've got to say. We saw like, as his last map, I said I was really impressed with these like sort of slow Uber pushes, but the counter to that is just being on crits because this kind of second wave of aggression, they just can't come in because there's the heavy.
Yeah, they're going to try and force their way through this choke, just brute force their way in. There's a soldier on the flank here trying to creates the space, and eventually the Bloodsail Buccaneers, they do make their way in. This is a scout fight underneath, and unfortunately here for the Buccaneers, they're just collapsing on the flank. They're going to have to retreat out. Oh no, Mac has slipped and fallen. He's going to have to get out faster if he wants to survive it. Nope, not going to be a thing.
Eon almost had Uber to save Mac as well, literally popped as he got that Uber charge. But what is it realistically going to achieve? They're going to maybe use it to get out, but are they even going to get out? Because Pappy's bombing in, Thomas is walking forward, and Eon has just been cut off completely now as big aggression comes in. Both Sollies coming forward, but Auto gets caught by Sail.
A bit too deep here, and this has been a very fast reversal. With this game, they have very weird first rounds, it would seem. It's a nice little sticky trap there by Lucas. Gonna make it a lot easier for them to contest mid here. You can see Thomas, he's just barreling forward with a
X is
medic.
deep behind as well. This is a bit interesting. They are not aware of this at all. Who is spawning up? Who is in the platter? Ixie's a catch. I think he's just playing the complete long game here. Gonna try to
no, he just shot someone.
Okay. They're aware now. The soldiers coming down. They all are aware of the hiding Italian scout underneath. I thought he was gonna try and get on point there, just as the cap was over, so that they could get themselves in and sneak around on the board. But not gonna happen. Gonna have to back their way out, but Silentes getting caught in transition means now the soldiers can bomb forward. Lucas in a heck of a lot of trouble here with the low ground. Because look at these soldiers, Sil's moving in deep onto choke. Lucas has gone down. Thomas going to try and hold his choke point to the best of his abilities, but looks like to me that Bloodsail Buccaneers, they've managed to stabilize this on second, and the spawners denied. They can walk mid.
Yeah, indeed, it is an even Uber situation, so pushing through here can be a bit sketchy, but getting Ixie off of the pick immediately is actually really good. It's been spread around this Uber a little bit more on Bloodsail Buccaneers, but they Ubered in slightly later, and this is actually so good for them. Auto is dead to right here. There we go. He's gonna go down. Just gonna be Lucas and Papi trying to slow down the tide here, but the Pirates, they are rolling now. And this was an amazing Uber exchange for them.
Yeah, they try and walking forward even further as well. Lucas getting a nice little kill there onto Bloke, but that might not slow things down too much at all, because now it's only Pappy that's really even looking at this second point besides Lucas here, but Ixie still in this forward spawn shutter on the sniper, and there's never mind, there's actually aggression coming in from Witness. They want to deny this cap, they want to try their very hardest to hang on to this second point. Ixie still in the sniper, looking for anything he can find. Auto actually getting caught though, as well as Eon. And look, there's only one player alive, it's Ixie in this forward spawn. There's a chance to run last here, and spawners aren't coming for 9 whole seconds.
It's going to be a mountain to climb here for Ixie, and he's just going to be executed. No chance. And there we go. It's going to be another first round here for the Bloodsail Buccaneers. This time around, it's going to take them about 5 minutes to actually get there. So, in a way, that's a little bit better. You have some more time to work with. But there we go. For some reason, Witness Gaming, it just looks like they're very messy in the first round. Maybe they're going to have to work some things out, but you know, if I'm the Bloodsail Buccaneers, I'm just like, okay, let's not mess up these mids, because that would happen the last time. We just got rolled on mid and all the way until last.
And 1-0 might well be the most dangerous lead if you're playing it up against Witness, but Sil has gone all the way up behind on drop, and I'm not sure if they're aware of this, because Sil is walking back in and getting a lot of good rockets off, but actually not landing too much damage. He's going to go down Eon, very, very weak in the back line, as now we are into basically a complete DM brawl at this point. Sail walking forward, finding one, finding two, maybe finding a kill into Auto as well. Auto with the head does plenty of harm with that solemn vow and is able to get the kill into Sail, but not without being followed up on. And now Bloodsail Buccaneers again with advantage, and again walking forward into enemy last. This might be the turnaround that they need on Gullywash.
Maybe this is just their map. It is their map pick. They look really good on it so far. Otto just going to have to heal up everyone that he can as much as possible. You see Thomas on the Pyro. They're just setting up for this Iron Man hold. We'll see how they actually decide to go in there. If they're going to Uber a soldier into water or send a scout in there. Just go all in on this right side. We'll see. They're going to go through the shutter door immediately. Sentinel has gone down. And they have a scout that's trying to push him through water. There's actually a lot of time on the point. The soldier's going to come in and block it, but just one little toe on this point is going to be enough. But it looks like they've done so much damage. Max on 5 HP. This is unreal. The pressure is so strong. And it's just not going to be enough. Mac comes in at the end there. That was incredibly close. But Bloodsail Buccaneers, they're up 2-0.
It was all down to the cap time in that one, really, because we saw there, like you said, in the Uber, like before the Uber had even ended, that point was almost 3/4 capped. And at that point, as a soldier player on Witness, you are in an impossible scenario. You literally have to just stand on that point and just eat the damage on the low ground. And against scouts and against the Neverman, it's never going to end well. But Bloodsail Buccaneers, they've turned it around in a way they couldn't do on Sunshine. They've managed to double their lead and take a 2-0 advantage here over on their map pick of Gullywash. Can they keep these mid-fights coming?
Salentis just comes screaming in very quickly, does a lot of damage, kind of see if they can get them into the elbow. And yeah, Poppy does so much damage. He's just gonna have to see if he can get out of line. He cannot. And there we go. Very strong mid there for Witness Gaming, just completely trapping them in that elbow area. Not where you want to be. I've been on the receiving end of that before. It feels very, very bad. And all of a sudden, Witness Gaming, they are in this really prime position to come back.
They absolutely are. They seem to like the wake-up call, the sort of cold shower going a couple of rounds down, and now they are reinvigorated and ready to get themselves going in with another Uber charge. See where they decide to take this one. Seems at the moment like eyes are on Shutter, but that's an early feed from Salentis actually. This might pay a cost to them later on if they can't get this Uber charge to get enough kills on the point. They're already down Ixie as well, but cap time coming through might be enough. Happy gonna try and blast people into the air, but you're not gonna be able to blast up that Sail Heavy. He just sits there.
Oh, Luke is just gonna go in. Oh, he gets body blocked.
Oh, good effort. Good effort.
Yeah. Tried to be a hero. Gets completely denied. This is a Salentis sniper here, big door. Gonna get picked off as well. So a really, really good last hold here. That Salentis feat was absolutely huge. You do not want to lose a player before you lose the
I didn't even see where he died.
He was in water. It was like, yeah, he pushed into water before the Ubers came in here. All right, we have a sneaky scout hiding. It's in the corner. It's Thomas. Just.
Is this going to go for a back cap? Is that the call? Or is it just going underneath? Sail seen it though. The ruse is up completely now, and we might have to turn our attention to this pushing on to the second point because there's loads of space being taken currently by Eon and Co. As they're not even going to bother trying to cap it. Never mind. They decide to hear the call that Thomas is behind, capping up mid, so they can actually walk in. And with Uber add, Thomas is still behind. They've got Pappy only just respawning. The Uber charge can come in basically a 6v4.
Yeah, Thomas going to actually go for the back cap here. So he's putting pressure on, but they decide to go for the push anyway, but they can't really put pressure on the point here. He
got the back cap.
Thomas, yeah, he got the back cap. So that works out for them. They do lose auto in all of this. Ixie's going to survive on his 1 HP. But that's all good.
Eon's alone. Eon's very catchable, very, very catchable. Gonna have to walk in for the Probably one shot goes onto the surf actually, up above, but it's just a matter of time before Eon falls in this one. And actually, that play from Thomas, going for that cap on second, ended up being a work of genius. But it was, one live say it was a little bit fortunate. Ixie living on 1 HP, then a couple of the low HP players as well, surviving that one. Nice shot from Unu there. On it to Salentis from this forward spawn Shutter. It might slow things down slightly, especially because Auto still hasn't got an Uber charge built up, so...
Yeah, probably don't want to risk it in there, right? You're going to have to just walk around in the sniper sideline for a bunch. There's just no way around it if you actually want to push in there. And they don't. He's going to wait it out here. Auto, he does have an Uber ad. You can absolutely go through big door. You know, you can send in some players, have the sniper waste a shot, and then you can run your medic through. Looks like they're just going to go through choke anyway, though. Oh my god! He got demolished. And then gets the Uber Force on auto from left there. Huge play there from left. Gets that Uber Force out. Eon's still on 85% though. You need to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, they absolutely do, and especially when they've lost 3 players here. This might make it very tough to get in, but Sylv's going to bomb in and find 2 up in Launchpad. Maybe going to go for more on to Lucas, and actually does. Great play there from Sylvs, and that is really going to open the doors now if they want to try and push out of this. Sail still being on Engineer is telling me that they're not particularly keen on the idea of going instantly, at least.
Yeah, fun fact, they're at 2-0. They can slow down the game quite a bit here. They have actually switched off now, and they're going to push on this 50% ad. I don't hate it.
Still, nearly lands the Galactic there onto Eon. That was a good effort.
Yeah. He's still alive though. You see Sail behind the point. Uber has come out here. Lucas will die for it though. And honestly, this is pretty good. If they just get the kills here, this is a completely acceptable use of an Uber. You can get out of last point. That's good, in my opinion.
Yeah, kind of. The problem they're still going to have to face is that the entire time Auto was just running away. The whole time.
True, they have an Uber disad.
So now it's Uber disad, and they're basically relying on being able to at least get the force here again on a second, or at least delay enough. Eon is just sat hard building currently, and trying to get up as much Uber as possible. Eon at 60%, maybe they'd have in time for last, even if second point was given up straight away, and that seems like it's what's going to happen now. Yunu going to peek in, try and get some damage over onto these forward pushing players, but it seems like Witness, they want to go, and they might sense blood in the water now because they're getting the Uber charge straight in through Shutter.
Gonna use it. The Eon though just gets its own. They're gonna pop in there, but it's not in time.
What?
Oh, bad luck there. That was just a microsecond of being blocked. And okay, shows how dumb I am. That was not a good thing to push out anyway. There we go.
It's age old saying, push out equals big mistake. It is.
Yeah,
it's true. Even when it works, even when you push out successfully, it's still a big mistake.
Yeah, I was really so sure there was going to be enough of a buffer. Yeah, it just clearly wasn't. All right, Luke is kind of slow. Should make it a little bit easier here for the Bloodsail Buccaneers. And actually, Soldier's going to be on Lucas immediately. Lucas will survive. Actually, he ends up baiting left here, but yeah, he puts zero pressure on them. And Neon will also survive at bombing.
Ixie's behind though. Ixie's going to collapse. He actually gets headshot rocket into the ground there by Sylves, but it won't matter at all now because everyone's falling left and right for the Bloodsail Buccaneers. As Witness Game in Europe, they're showing us why they are the best team in the world, because they are walking all the way into last already, finding Bloke, who is trying to go for a cheeky little peek there on Sniper, and the mid isn't even capped up yet, and Spawn is already being locked off by these explosive classes.
Yeah, they're just bidding them right now. Gonna place himself on top of this lip. See the pirate here, but actually a really good soldier bomb in there. They're gonna take down Lucas. Uber has been forced out here. There's some time on the point. Yeah, they're all forced down here, but unfortunately there's just one scout to shoot them. If there was a demo man, that could have he could have exploded everyone, but unfortunately that's not really the case. It's just gonna be sailed though.
This is absolutely still winnable. Look at these spawners are 5 seconds away. There's a chance to collapse in. They have to focus fire heavy. It's the Auto joining in with the focus fire with the Solemn Vow. And they managed to get it. It was a little bit uneasy at times, a little bit unsteady, especially with Lucas going down earlier in that fight. But the recollapse was just about enough. Heavy with an impossible task on the point there, with 3 players, including a medic. Damage to that 450 health pool. But
like as a heavy, when you're just like full on tracking someone and you just turn around and there's a medic in your face, right? Just delaying you. That feels like a pub thing almost, right? There's just too many of them. He tried his best. And once again, Lucas, this time around, he is doing much better here on this mid. Gonna be able to walk forward, put on a ton of pressure. Left's gonna be the first to die once again. Sylve's not gonna fare much better, and it's just a matter of can he get out. There's no way.
Yeah, there's a big explosion there in the big door, and we might be seeing a similar kind of scenario again. I guess maybe not. There's 3 spawners coming up. We've got a sniper, a demo, and a soldier to defend these spawn shooters. And you see Witness, they walk forward, they see the players spawning up, but they just say, you know what, we're going to respect it. We're going to back up. They know it's already about, what, like 70 advantage.
Yeah, that was just such a clean mid for Witness Gaming. That was just brutal. And killing the medic last as well. Just kind of the perfect way to cap that off. They're going to move in here once again. Just your standard Uber through the door, take down the sentry gun, move everyone into spawn. They haven't really put the time on the point. Max is holding his ground here in water. Looks like he's finally going to get jumped by Poppy. Will end up trading with him, but I think Witness Gaming have just about done it. Put enough pressure on, have enough players alive that it's just going to be Sylves here on the point against 4 players. Come on, Sylves, you can do it. Do your best. Not going to be enough. 3-2.
There's just like an inevitability about this, isn't there? Like, genuinely, like, I don't know. Was it just me? I just thought, like, you know, when Witness went 2-0 down, there was just like, I don't know where they were going to lose anyway. Right? Like,
yeah,
you just sort of think, now that okay, they're gonna start playing now, they're gonna start coming back, and literally since going 2-0 down, they've been an entirely new team.
Yeah, I
winners.
really feel like Poppy has just called, let's win mid, guys. I feel like that's a good strat. And then they do that. So, actually playing in big ball really passively so far with this game. And Lucas has been taken down this time around. This could actually be a real good opportunity here. Celentis cannot make it in onto the medic either. Everyone's going to be searching across the point now for the Bloodsail Buccaneers. They're not quite synced up the way I would want to, and actually they take down Juno. He overextends, and this is turned around and win this game. They're going to win anyway.
How on earth did he get away with these scenarios? Down 2 players, and now they're the ones pressuring forward, trying to get the kill onto Eon. And look how late that death was. Nearly had an overcharge up to defend himself, but wasn't quite there in time. And every single player now for the Bloodsail Buccaneers is going to fall eventually on this mid. There's only Yunu, who's a late spawner, coming up here, just trying to hide. Love by Baby Doll, just trying to get anything that he can, but it's not looking great. And the Witness Gaming, from going 2-0 down, is looking pretty solid on this one. Another Uberad push about to come in. There's going to be a gun, there's going to be a pyro, but like, are we expecting anything different this time around?
Yeah, maybe not. They've had pretty good success with actually eventually getting onto Mac in water. So let's see if they can do that again. Centurion has been taken down as Uber has come in. Steel left in water has been dealt with as well. And here we go. They're going to jump onto Mac. There we go. Yeah, Poppy is just so good at just coming in there, take down Mac, and then the horn pressure wins out eventually. It's kind of crazy how well Poppy just keeps on timing this.
Yeah, he's done it twice in the last 2 pushes. Both times Poppy's like... And the thing is as well with this, is there's still sticks on the point the whole time.
Yeah.
There's, or like at least some of the sticks on the point. Maybe like the scouts have like cleared a couple of them that like Poppy's aware of, that like knows he's got like a clean line through. But these like deaths from back aren't getting anything, and he's just getting caught every time.
Yeah, I don't know if he's just shooting some of them on the top of the lip or whatever, just so he can actually jump over and get in. Oh my god, Lucas again getting jumped here. Really nice jump in from below. Gonna do so much work. Eon will survive as well. And surely this is the time. 3 players down for Witness Gaming. Just Mac here from the Bloodsail Buccaneers. And there we go. Finally, a mid-win for them.
It's a mid-win, but it's not as big as of the wins that we saw Winners getting earlier, because Auto was able to get out alive and has got a double scout chariot walking up through river, currently trying to bully their way back onto the second point, but for now it seems like Witness have just decided to respect it. They're going to back up to last, they're going to get themselves set in for the long haul, get their gun built up, and get themselves ready for this onslaught of aggression that's going to come in from the Pirates as they get themselves buffed up in river. And looks like sailing water is going to be the first plan towards this one.
I mean, if you have a player named Sail, you send him into water. That just makes sense. Yeah. So he's going to put some pressure on. You see Celentis up there on the lip. He's doing his best to keep attention there, but it is pretty difficult to stay up there while being spammed from everywhere and not drop down. But they get 2 picks here immediately, and they even get Sail as well with a nice walk with their long range. Poppy's going to try and jump in here, see if he can get onto the medic. Not going to be able to do so. I think that's just going to be it for them to move back here. But no, actually,
they want to trade.
Gaming, they want to fight this.
They want to trade. They're going to have to use this Uber charge out. Auto getting forced out, and Mac completely left out of this Uber. Yunu going to run back and not manage to block the cap in time, which is going to mean there's going to be a little barrier of saves now as Sills bombing behind, got onto a player on the flank, but with Auto getting caught in lobby, this is actually a win for the Pirates. Is this another example of push out equals big mistake? Wait, where's Thomas going?
I think so.
Where's Thomas going? What's happening?
Thomas has gone back to spawn, not his own spawn, mind you, but back to a spawn. There's a scout on the point that's going to put some eyes there, but there was no other play going on. So I'm not sure. Okay, Thomas. He just went on a little excursion there, and now he's back to his own last. Not sure what he was trying to do there, because I don't think there was any spawners or anything that he.
There was 2 soldiers, but they were spawning together. Like, I guess Scout normally beats a soldier, but maybe 2 soldiers, probably a bit too much on the plate there for Thomas.
I mean, Thalas has done it. I remember that vividly. So if he can, surely Thomas can. All right, no problem. But we're back here. We have a new grad. They're going to go in through the balcony. That's kind of interesting. Centurion has been taken down pretty quickly as well. And we have 2 players in water. Lucas is still alive, though. Eventually does get taken down. There's actually 5, and there we go. These uber pushes into last have been so solid.
It was just in time as well, because as the point was getting capped up there was an uber charge coming out from Witness. They built up in time. It was only about 30 yards. There was a real tiny window of opportunity. But Bloodsail Buccaneers, there is still a fight in the Pirates yet. I thought, honestly, 2-0 up to 4-2 down, I thought the mental might be crumbling, but the mental is not crumbling at all because they have time. 7 minutes left. 1 round to find to equalise here against Witness as they get themselves rolled out again. Here they're going to be early bombs onto Lucas. It looks like Lucas is not going to be anywhere to be found on this one because Thomas instead is going all the way back, and Eon falling down. This might be a bit of a counter strat occurring.
Yeah, it's when you send 2 soldiers from the demo man and you don't get him, that's just mid over basically.
He wasn't even there.
Yeah. Just it's so difficult to actually get something done. You just kind of essentially waste your soldier jumps in there. Otto's gonna have a full grad. Still behind lines. He is in spawn. He's in heaven. Rip in peace. As there's still a pretty good chance that Eon's gonna be able to get this Uber in time. Like with this game, they have to be fast to get in here. It's on 80% for Eon, and here comes the Uber if not for Witness Gaming.
Yeah, it's going to be all about these laser beams in this post. We've seen it come good before, but this time around there's a lot of cap time coming out on the point for Witness who want to seal it here and now, but the laser beams are in. But they have not quite had the impact they had last time, but they've had enough impact to repel any attempts at getting any more time on this point here now for Witness as they back up. And look at this, Eon has stayed on the crits.
Normally, I was so sure he was going to go back.
Yeah, normally they do. Normally they do swap back, but I guess with 5 minutes left, they know that they really have to try and make something drastic work. And drastic action being taken by Bloke currently, who's doing a lot of damage onto this combo. But Eon in the meantime is also weak. And these Bloodsail Buccaneers, after pushing out, they're still in a lot of trouble, losing both their scouts. It's just Mac and Eon left up alive, and in a 2v6. Spawn is still a while away. This might be all she wrote.
Yeah, you can't really blame them for trying to do something here, but Ixie's in water. He's going to pressure that out. There's just no way to get down there and take it out. And that's going to be that 5-3. Pretty messy game here at the end, but strong start coming out from the Bloodsail Buccaneers once again. But Witness Gaming just a bit too strong. Those mids are just killer, and the last pushes were clean.
Absolutely, yeah. It was just a complete turnaround. It genuinely felt like a different team after that second round came through. And of course, yeah, there was one good mid later on with a double bomb into Lucas, where eventually the Bloodsail Buccaneers converted that into a round after an interesting push out. But other than that, like, I don't know, Witness, like, they're very, I don't know, they're a lot more like hit and miss, at least we've seen in this game, where like they're very much hot and cold. But these mids, like we saw it before, when they get rolling, they really get rolling.
Yeah, but definitely Witness Gaming, they are not invulnerable. I was kind of worried that they were just going to roll over everything, but that, as inevitable as they seem, I don't think Bloodsail Buccaneers is going to be their biggest challenge this season. So maybe a bit of an opening for the other teams here. Maybe they're seeing some weaknesses, you know?
Yeah, there's still a possibility. And like we say, the Bloodsail Buccaneers, like maybe this is like kind of a sort of bogey team almost for Witness, because it does have quite a few of the players that beat Witness in that Snakewater game back in Poland. But yeah, like we said, like we were picking. If I was picking like who's going to finish top 3 this season, like I probably wouldn't even put Bloodsail Buccaneers there. I think
No, yeah.
I think Dirty Maggots and Four Offense are both strong.
Yeah.
I think the Dirty Maggots and Four Offense are both stronger teams. And I think if this is as close a game is going to get on Gullywash, okay, Sunshine was less close. We'll admit that Sunshine was one bad mid fight at the start, and then they steamrolled the rest of the game and got 5 rounds in 15 minutes ish.
Yeah.
But this was a real fight, and yeah, I think it's maybe concerning signs going later on, because the Pine game wasn't decisive either in week 1.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, it was 3-0, 3-1, but like they really had to dig in and fight against a Pint team that had like 2 mercs, I believe. So
yeah, It might just be a matter of playing to your opponent's level, right?
Yeah.
Like that. That could definitely be a thing. So yeah, I don't want to put too much in it. It is still early in the season. This is week 2. So Witness Gaming, they're gonna take another solid win here, and a win is a win. That's just basically all there is to it. So can't ascribe too much to it here, but solid win. Actually, I look at the logs. It still again, ton of damage, ton of kills.
Yeah, Silver's been playing really, really well. Um, I guess this wraps it up for the week 2 games, which like is kind of weird because with this season being only 5 weeks game, we're actually like next week is like the middle week of the season. It feels like we've hardly started, but yeah, next week is gonna be the halfway point. So two rounds of fixtures in. We've got Bloodsail Buccaneers probably happy with their performances so far. It was a really convincing week 1 win against Aragosta, and into this where they've run it competitive as against the team who should be far and away the best in the league. So optimistic for them. But Witness, they're going to sit high and proud on top of the table. I think they're the only team to be currently sat on 12 points. So I guess you can't really ask for much more for Witness currently. But I know that if you look at the games, maybe like it's not been as comfortable as they'd hoped. But like you say, they build into seasons. We've seen this before, especially last season. They even lost the first week last season and still bounced back. And they are
Yeah,
betting in Silences again, who's not touched the game in what, like 18 months. So it's kind of understandable, but yeah, maybe things are going to change later on.
do you know how the playoffs are structured? Is it 4 teams or is it 3 teams?
Last season, if it's the same as last season, it was 3 teams where the top team gets a free pass to the final, and then second and third play in like the upper bracket final, the lower bracket final, or whatever. Like the okay, we're hearing from Sam as it's undecided, but possibly 4 teams.
I
Okay,
think they're just rolling a dice and seeing. Oh, it's four
it
teams
could be,
this
it
season.
could be.
Yeah,
But yeah, last season it was 3, but maybe it'll be different. But yeah, we don't want to spoil too much on that one. But regardless, like even if it is 3, 4 teams, whatever, you don't want to be leaving that to chance. You want to be you want to be getting as many points as you can and putting it without doubt. Finish first, finish second, whatever. Make sure you're getting in there. And I think both these teams are capable. As I said, I didn't expect massive things from Bloodsail Buccaneers, at least against like the four fences and the like dirty maggots teams of the league. But after this performance, I think it's possible, particularly themselves. Like I think I underestimated Silves coming into like at least into this game. I think it was gone up in my estimations quite a lot. So I think Silves had a really good performance, and yeah, there's a lot of upcoming talents in that team that I think could look good later on in the season.
yeah, very
I
much
guess
so. That's going to be for week 3. So definitely tune in for that. That's going to be that for week 2. Thank you so much for Samus to producing, for you to casting with me, Ben. Do you have anything you want to say before we head out?
thanks Manco Store for the funding the prize pool of the season again. Always very nice to hear. But yeah, other than that, I think I'm good to sign off.
Yeah, cheers. Good night.